Out of the pitch-black darkness of an infinite soulless empty space, all you can hear are cards shuffling back and forward, back and forward. Slowly you have seen hands appeared out of the shadows of the darkness. Cards are shuffled. As they spark you see a glimpse of him.
Some know me as a cheater, liar, trader, and opportunist. Some call me a ladies' man, thief, murderer. Le Diable Blanc, that's what we call the White Devil. Boo! Where I'm from, it's called cutthroat, and you have to do whatever you have to do to increase your chances of survival in this land I'm from. I was told life is a gamble. That's why I cheated death. My name is Remy Lebeau, but you can call me Gambit. Welcome to my humble abode.
As fast as he was shuffling he jumped back in attack mode, pulled out a flaming ace out of the deck of cards to show his mutant power to charge objects with explosive energy. He employed playing cards he charged with kinetic energy as his trademark weapon. He threw the flaming ace and it exploded. Boom. Gambit, Life is a Gamble. Chapter 1. The Bet of My Life. The pain of a dying woman's voice. Running. Lost in the woods, shot, bleeding from the shoulder. The troopers narrowed in on her from trying to escape with her unborn child. She hid behind a tree. The troopers' lights shine off the tip of their weapons. She slowly looked around the tree. Only 2 troopers remains. As one walked past the tree she tried a stealth kill, but the other trooper heard the noise. He ran over only to see his fellow trooper hanging from the tree, with his intestines hanging from his stomach, as blood dripped down the tree. The trooper realized he was the last one left. Crack. The lady snuck up behind him and broke his neck. She was making her way out the forest when she saw headlights. Ran out the woods into the road waving her hands, not realizing the car was moving faster as it approached. The driver drunk fighting with his girlfriend clearly not watching the road.
Look out!
Car sliding brakes squealing.
It's too late!
His foot locked onto the brakes but couldn't stop. The car hit head-on, her body flipped on impact slamming her head against the windshield, landing in the condensed muddy road. The driver swerved. She's bleeding over the ground covered in wet mud. The man's girlfriend asked him,
"What have you done?"
I'm sorry, I didn't see her. She came out of nowhere.
The woman in the road crying out, "Help me." The man opened his door.
Stay here.
No!
His girlfriend put her hand on his leg and said convincingly,
Don't go. We need to get out of here. There's nothing we can do to help.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
What's wrong with you? If you don't leave, the police will take you to jail for drinking and driving, destabilize your life, destroying you from receiving your licenses. Meaning no graduation, no funding from your parents. They will cut you out the inheritance.
Out of fear and panic, the man left without checking, justifying his guilty conscience with a poor choice of action. Hours and not a soul passed by, getting weaker as her eyes slowly start to close. Then she felt a sharp pain in her stomach, forcing her eyes open.
I am having contractions. Because of the baby, I can't die. Not yet.
Then she seen lights coming down the road. With all of her might she raised her hand. The driver of the car slammed on brakes, pulled to the side.
Miss, are you okay?
Help. I need a ride to the hospital.
The man helped her in the car. You could see his hands shaking, nervous. Panic overwhelmed him as he dropped his keys.
I need my asthma pump.
She looked up.
Can we go?
Yes, but don't mind me asking. What happened? Why were you in the woods?
I was hit by a car and shot. The first thing you ask me. Why was I in the woods?
I'm sorry, miss. Would you like some water?
She looked at him, pulled out a gun, held it to his head.
Shut up. Shut up and drive.
Then she grabbed her stomach.
Holy shit, my water just broke.
Are you okay?
Do I look okay? Get me to the hospital before I shoot you.
They pulled up at the hospital. Getting out of the car he tried to help, but she said,
No.
Walking into the door, not being able to see from all the blood she lost, a nurse ran over to help.
Miss, can you sit on the stretcher?
Was the last thing she heard before she blanked out. When she awoke she heard a lady.
It's a boy.
Let me see my baby.
The baby slowly started to open its eyes. His eyes were afire, blood red from the pain and the blood of his mom that bled for him. Her last words before exhaling.
Mama loves you. I love you with all my heart.
Deep in her eyes you could see her soul fading away. As the baby slowly slips out her arms, the nurse grabbed the baby looking with tears of emotions under her eyes and said,
It will be okay.
2 men walked into the door and asked the nurse,
Is that the baby with the red eyes?
Is that the baby with the red eyes?
Yes, And why you ask?
The men snatched the baby out the nurse's hand, pushed her down, walked out. The nurse tried to stop them, but she was overpowered, as she watched the men walk out the door. The men took the child to the New Orleans Creole Guild.
We have something special to show before the festival. We bring to you, Le Diable Blanc. This is the child that is believed.
You could hear people in the crowd whispering.
That child is Cajun.
Voice of Reinsurance speaks.
He was the child that had been prophesied to unite the warring guilds. Let us have the child, we will show him the ways of the Creoles. Now, the celebration begins.
Day in and day out the Creole Guild trained the young boy to be the best thief among them. At 10 years old, he was robbing people he knows to be rich. He felt like a Robin Hood for his gang. Till one day Remy attempted to pick the pocket of Jean-Luc Lebeau, then patriarch of the Creoles Guild. Remy bumps into the man and grabs his wallet. Remy was walking away, he wants to look into the wallet and it was gone. Remy looks back. The man was standing right behind him holding the wallet up in the air.
This what you are looking for?
The man said with a smile. Remy was stunned.
You are good, but you don't have to do that no more.
The man said to Remy. Jean-Luc Lebeau took the boy off the streets and adopted him into his own family. Even though he was a Cajun, Remy's whole life he was raised around Creole people, and they treated him like an equal. Over 20 years ago, the Cajun Guild first elder passed away. At the funeral, a strange man sitting on the back row inconspicuously. After the funeral, the grandson of the Boudreaux family walked to the man.
Thanks for coming out and showing support for our family. How do you know our grandfather?
We never met. But the townspeople said he's well respected. I wish I had the opportunity to meet before he's deaf. My name is Mr. Sinister. I'm a master in the art of geneticists. I can keep your family unique heritage alive.
Are you using some kind of magical spell?
If you would like to call genetics magics then yes. If so, I need something specific.
Specific like what?
Like a DNA sample. It could be blood, hair, brain tissue, or something as common as saliva, commonly phrase you would like to call spit.
If you can do what you say, I will let you get the items. But if you can't, we will hunt you down and kill you.
Mr. Sinister got the things he needed and left. Weeks passed, the Cajun Guild was talking about it's time to find Mr. Sinister. As they said that, the doors flew open. It's him, with two people's weight 50-pound chains wrapped around their necks.
Here this dogs hold the key to your family genes, keep them safe and never let them out your family.
For years, the Cajun Guild did just that. Till one day one of the Cajuns was playing cards with a Creole. The Cajun was losing all his money. The Creole said,
"Let's up the bet, if you win you can have all the money you lost back. And if I win? I would like answers to my age-old question."
Yes, let's play.
The Creole won the card game.
"Now tell me the power of your family."
The Cajun said,
"You know I can't tell you that."
"We had a bet, now tell me whatever I would like to know. Make good with your word."
The Cajun said,
"Our power of our family is in the bloodline and our bloodline is in our Boudreaux alligator pits."
Out of excitement, the Creole jumped up.
"I knew it."
As cards fell out his lap. You should see him with a look of disbelief.
"You cheated me. You thieving piece of manure cheated me."
The two men had a bloody fight. The Cajun flips the table over on the Creole. With fast reflexes the Creole kicked the table back at the Cajun. The Cajun counter-reversed by quickly ducking under the table, grabbed a bottle off the floor, threw it at the Creole hitting his shin. The Creole bent over, grabbing his leg to look up to see a flying knee crack him in the face. Blood flew out his mouth. The Cajun put his hands around his neck.
"I'm going to kill you with my bare hands."
Fighting for air, the Creole manages to break the stranglehold, then grabbed the Cajun head and headbutted him. Blood poured out his nose, running down his hands to his arm.
"You just broke my nose,"
the Cajun said in a loud rage. The Creole stood up to use his powers, but it didn't work.
"What's wrong with my powers?"
A voice from the back room.
"My family was brought here on a boat, 5 elders ago. We work for the master to the day his wife had a baby and this land was attacked by mutants. My parents told him we can protect this land from those with special powers, the same as the savage land."
Then the Cajun ran at the Creole, pinning him down on the ground, punching him. The Creole's face was swelling up, blood was all over the floor. from the Cajun's attack on him.
Stop it now.
The woman walked out the back room. She was a slim Haitian woman with her hair in locks, war paint all over her face.
Get out.
The Cajun ran out the door. His dog was missing. He looks left and right, ran back inside. The Creole had disappeared.
Where are you? I will kill you.
The Cajun and Creoles were at war. The war brings death. Pain to family members for years to come. Till one day the leader of the Cajun Guild sent a message to Jean-Luc Lebeau. He wanted to meet with him, about a way to end the war between the two guilds. Jean said,
Okay, let's meet at the place where it all started.
That night the two guilds met up at the bar where it all started. The Cajun Guild walked in the left door, the Creole Guild walked in the right door.
Come in, and sit.
They could hear the voice of the Haitian woman out the back room.
I called for you to come and meet. I would like to speak to just the leaders of the two guilds.
The men sit down at the table with the Haitian woman.
I have a way for us to end this war. By heritage and prejudice the Creoles and Cajuns cannot mix blood, but by Remy being Cajun and adopted to Jean-Luc Lebeau. If the son of a Creole will marry the daughter of a Cajuns it will end the war, and peace will be back to our land.
The next day a marriage was arranged between the two guilds, the granddaughter of the leader of the Cajun Guild and the son of Jean-Luc Lebeau. Later that night a group of the thieves from the Creole Guild was making plans to kill the daughter of the Cajun Guild.
I'm Remy's best man. I will be the one to hand him the ring. When he put the ring on her finger his powers will flare out of control, destroying her, making Remy look like the killer.
The men didn't know that Belladonna's brother overheard what they was talking about. He ran back to the Cajun Guild and said,
My sister shall not marry into the Creole Guild. I will kill them before I let it be.
The next day at the wedding. Walking down the aisle as the people take their places, the preacher waved his hands for them to sit down. You could see Gambit standing in the background, with a look of excitement on his face. The Creoles and Cajuns were anxious and anticipating the ceremony, the marriage and the bond between the two guilds. Remy ready. Belladonna's father walked her down the aisle. The preacher.
We come together today to witness the marriage between Belladonna and Remy Lebeau.
The preacher asked.
Do we have anyone object to this marriage holy sacrament?
Stop. You will not marry Belladonna.
Remy looked up and said in a very cocky voice.
Who are you to stop this?
My name is Julian, the brother of Belladonna. That's my sister and you will not marry her. I will kill you first before I let you kill her.
Will it look like we don't have no choice to choose from the we?
Julian picked up a katana and wakizashi and told Remy to arm yourself.
Only the most effective survived through tests of combat.
Swinging the katana around, the wakizashi slips out his hand, landing a hit to Remy's face. Remy jumps back.
You sure you want to do this?
The Samurai Elite Warrior class distinguished themselves from the rest with a katana and wakizashi. Yes, this is for my sister.
Remy pulled the two of diamond out a deck of cards, lit up a cigarette, took one deep pull, then plucked it down, but before the cigarette could hit the ground, Remy threw the whole deck of cards at him, piercing his flesh, ripping cuts all over his face. Julian ran at Remy, but Remy quickly grabbed the katana in his hand, charged it with his powers. The charge from the katana blew his hand off. Julian bent over to pick the katana up with his left hand and said,
To the death!
Remy didn't want to fight no more, but he had to defend himself. Julian hit Remy. Remy healed him.
Stop, Julian, stop. Keep attacking me, you will die.
Never!
Remy broke Julian's arm, pulled the katana out of his hand and jugged it into his chest. Remy charged the katana with all his powers, pulled Julian closest to him and said in his ear,
Now I want to see you object to this, Monsieur.
Julian's body lit up. Remy stepped back. His last words before he died was,
Don't marry my sister, she will die by your hand. If it's your will or not.
He exploded. Remy killed Belladonna's brother Julian, and for doing that Remy was banned from the secret swamp guild under the New Orleans. That's the only way the two guilds will ever have peace. Jean-Luc Lebeau told Remy.
Before you leave, come here, Remy. This is not what I want to do. But it's not about what I want. We have to bring peace to this land. Before you go, I have something for you to take with you.
Remy looked up at him. Jean pulled out a bow staff.
This bow is a conductor. Add your powers, you can charge things through it. Take this and be safe and live free, my Remy.
Remy turned around, walked away slowly and looked back, just staring at Jean with a cold look as his eyes turned red, and said,
My name is Gambit, for the one who was cheated out of life.
To be continued.